Hi there. Thank you for purchasing one of my art kits. So here are the instructions for the mermaid tail. So this is just a plan, just an idea to get you started. Feel free to make your mermaid tail look any way you want to. Make it your own. And I'm trying out a little mermaid design myself, practicing for the Vashon event coming up. So what do you think? Yeah, kind of mermaidy? Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and open up your bag with a cute little mermaid tail on it. So first you're going to have your paper plate. This is if you want to mix some colors on in your paper towel. And of course you have your canvas that's already traced, maybe that way, ready to go for you. Then here are your paintbrushes and your paints. We're going to open those in just a moment. And then we have my business card, and you have a fun sticker and a little treat in there for you. Here are some just fun basic instructions, and again, it's an example of the picture. If you want to follow along, you can. If not, again, make it your own. I love it. So the only thing that you're going to need to grab is a cup of water. And then you can go ahead and follow me and get started. So don't forget though, on number 4, it says to go ahead and take a picture, either in the process of painting or at the end of the painting, and post it to my Facebook page or tag me in my Facebook page or Instagram, and you will be entered into a drawing for a free art kit. So yeah, I have some more coming up this fall, or you can choose a different one or the same one. It's up to you. I'll let you choose which one you want to do. So go ahead and tag me, and yeah, you'll be entered into that drawing. So I'd love to see your work. So that's what this is all about. Are you ready to get started? All right, I have mine. And we're going to go ahead and open up your paints. So here at the top, there's just a little sticky. Find the edge, open it up. And we're going to start with this big long one with all the blues on it. Okay. And we are going to start with the background. Maybe. So these can be a little tricky to open up, so I'm going to use my 2 pinchers, and I'm just going to kind of open that right there. So I'm opening up the white, this dark blue, and then this light blue. Again, it's kind of tricky. Get some help if you need it. I don't want to splash the paint all over. There we go. So first of all, I'm going to start with this background. See how there's 2 different blues? There's a light blue and kind of a medium blue. Okay. So we're going to do a little bit of blending. Let me put that right here. I'm going to take my medium brush, or your largest brush, right here. And I'm going to scoop some of that blue onto my paper plate. Then I'm going to scoop up some of my white, just like that. And then I'm just going to kind of mix it. You can make it as light or as dark as you'd like it. I might want it a little bit lighter, just for my taste. So I'm going to add a little bit more white. There we go. I'm liking that color. Okay, once I get it all nice and mixed, I'm going to go ahead and start. So I'm going to start here at the bottom, and I'm going to paint, go right up to that line, I'm going to go over the edge. And just fill in that whole space. I'm just going back and forth. Maybe go over this edge. Oh, let me bring that down so you can see. Much better. See, I'm going over the edge. Just filling that whole bottom. Okay. So you can pause if you need more time. Pause the video and come back. So next, I'm going to use this bluish green right here. It's kind of like a teal color. So I'm just gonna dip my brush. I'm not doing any blending. Just gonna dip my brush into that and do the next layer of waves. I'm gonna go right up to that pencil line again and fill in all of that area. You can blend those lines a little bit if you'd like, but it's okay if you kind of just leave them the way they are. And again, I'm going to go over the edge right there on both sides. All right. Can you guess what color I'm going to use next? Yeah. I'm going to go back to this color, and we're just going to go back and forth until we go all the way to the top. So you can rinse out your brush, but I'm not gonna. I'm okay if the colors mix a little bit. So this is a really pretty thin one. Pretty thin wave. And I'm gonna go all the way up to the mermaid tail. But I'm not gonna go over the lines. And then I'm gonna go on this side of the mermaid tail. All the way up to the pencil line. I'm gonna try not to leave any of the white canvas showing, so I wanna go all the way to the pencil line. Just like that. See how I stopped? Let the mermaid tail come through. And then I'm gonna go back to this color. So you can go ahead and, I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward while I finish up my project, and I'll let you know what it looks like when I come back. So I'm just gonna alternate colors. So next I'm gonna do my teal and the light blue, teal, light blue, all the way up to the top. And the only thing we'll have left is the mermaid tail. So, all right, happy painting. I'll see you back here in just a little bit. All right, what do you think? How does it look? You can see I did do a very good job covering the sides. I did a better job on the bottom. So you can take this time right now and just pick one of your blues. It doesn't matter which one. And I'm just going to paint on the sides. It just kind of makes it look more finished. It does make a little challenging to hang on to. And you can do this at the very end too if it's more helpful. There we go, much better. See, now it just looks a little bit more finished. Oh, and maybe that corner. Just be careful not to get any paint. It comes off pretty good with the paintbrush if you get it on paintbrush. It comes off pretty well with baby wipes or a wet paper towel if you get it on anything that you're not supposed to. All right, there we go. Now I just have the tail to do. Okay, I'm gonna rinse off my brush. I'm still using the medium brush. Okay, and I'm gonna dab it on my paper towel, just get some of that extra water off. Make sure it's nice and clean. All right, now we're going to do this background color. So I'm going to start here with the green and I'm going to go up here to the dark blue. Okay, so I'm going to close the white for now. We'll come back to it. I'm going to open up the blue and the green. Okay, and yeah. All right. So I'm going to start with the green. And I'm going to start at the bottom of our tail. And I'm just going to paint about a third of it. Right there. And then I'm going to rinse off my brush. There we go. Now I'm going to use the dark blue. And I'm going to use the dark blue for the whole bottom of the tail. And I'm going to go right up to those waves so I don't have any white spot showing. You can go nice and slow. Make sure you get all of that filled in. See, I'm using my brush and I'm going nice and slow when I get close to those lines, and then you can go a little bit faster in the middle. But nice and slow. And I'm going to rotate my brush this way to get into that corner. If you want to use your smaller brush, go ahead and do that. Might be a little bit easier. Same with here, I'm going to rotate my brush and get in that corner of that fin. All right, I'm almost done. Right there. Okay. And my tail doesn't come to a point as well as I would like it to. So I think I am going to grab my smaller brush, my smallest brush. Let's see if that one will work. And I'm going to get some little blue on there, and I'm just going to kind of define that line a little bit. make it just a little bit more pointy. Yeah, that's much better. I like that. Same with this side. Just going to make it a little bit more pointy. There we go. Much, much better. All right. So now I have this weird gap in the middle. See that weird gap? I'm going to take my large brush, get some of that water off. I'm going to take some blue and maybe a little bit of my green. So now I have blue and green on my brush. And I'm just going to kind of mix those together. And then when I get closer to the green, I'm going to add more green to my brush. Just kind of blend that together. And I'm getting some blue up in this part of the tail, and that's okay. I kind of like that look. You can add a little bit of water to your brush if you need to blend it a little bit more. But not too much water. Okay. And then down here, I'm going to add just a little bit of blue to my brush. I still have the green on there. And we're just going to blend it all together. You can just kind of keep blending until you get to the point where you like it. I felt I need a little bit more blue down here, so I added more blue. I'm going to rinse off my brush. Get some of that green off. I got too much green down here now. More blue. There we go, much better. I'm going to rinse off some of that blue. And more green. All right. Now it's going to start getting super fun. Sorry, I can't stop blending. It's just going to get just right. There we go. So there's my tail. All right, so now I'm going to flip my canvas this way, just because I find it's a little bit easier to work with. I have my smallest, very smallest brush. And I'm going to open up the black. Okay. So here, I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to scoop up some of that paint on my brush. I'm going to put it on my plate. Just like that. And I'm going to add just a little bit of water to that black. Okay, see how I'm kind of rolling that paint off just a little bit. I watered it down. So it looks like a nice little ink. Okay. So I'm going to wipe off some of that black. And I'm going to dip just the top of my brush into that black. Okay. And I'm going to start right here at the top. And I'm going to make some nice little U's. And I want to go back, and mine's not so dark, so I'm going to add a little bit more black. So I have about 3 U's right there at the top, just like that. So now I want to start the next row in the middle of this U, and I'm going to end in the middle of this U. So I'm just going to go, and I'm going to try to make them close to the same size, right there. And I'm going to make another one. just like that. And if you want to make a couple that go off the edge a little bit, that's okay too. And so now we're on to our third row. The third row, again, I'd start here in the middle, and I'm gonna go right to the middle of that other one. So we're alternating. So our new scales are in the middle of the previous row. And we're gonna do that all the way down to about right here. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward, and I'll come back. All right, how'd your scales turn out? See how far down I went? Not too bad. And again, if there's a scale that you don't like, you can use a little bit of paper towel. I'm going to dip it into my water. And you can kind of go ahead and just kind of take your paper towel and just kind of dab it off. So my green wasn't quite dry underneath, so it took off some of the green. So I'm just going to fix that real quick. But the scales don't have to be perfect, just happy little scales. And then I'm going to go back and kind of fix that and make another scale. Still kind of wet with the green, so it's not super good. All right, now since we still have the black out, I'm going to use that same black, and I'm going to make a few lines on each side of the tail. So I'm going to start on here. I'm going to draw just a little line. I'm going to follow the shape of the tail. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Just like that. See my black lines? Okay, and I'm going to do 2 more on each side. I'm going to do one on this side, and another one on this side. Getting a little bit shorter as they're coming in towards the middle. And maybe I'll start a couple going up. Just like that. So I have 6 lines. Just to help define that tail a little bit. All right. Now comes the super fun colors. I'm going to close my greens and blues. And I'm going to open up this purple. This is like a shiny metallic purple. And the shiny metallic blue. They look very close to this one. This one has a very fun shiny metallic color to it. Okay. And then with the small brush, I'm going to start with the blue. And right here at the top, I'm just going to kind of add just a little round dab of paint. Kind of like a little circle. And I'm going to do about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 rows. About right there. And then I'm going to go into my purple. Again, I didn't rinse out my brush. It's going to have a little bit of blue on there, and that's okay. I like how the colors mix. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of the scales purple. And you're going to get more purple as some of that blue comes off. Just like that. See how shiny it is? So pretty. Okay. While I still have the purple and blue out, I'm going to take the blue and I'm going to go ahead and make some lines. So again, this blue is kind of blends in with the tail. You can't really see it too much yet. But I'm going to add 3 lines to each side. And then maybe I might need a couple in the middle too. So you can set it's 4 lines on each side. But you can see how shiny it is. Makes it super fun. Then I'm going to go into my purple and do the same thing. I'm going to go in between that blue and the black. Just going to kind of find spots in there where there's little gaps. And if you go over the black a little bit, that's okay. If you go over the blue, you can add as much purple as you want. Okay. What do you think? See the purple? Fun, fun. And just a little bit of purple up here too. There we go. So next we're going to add some fun gold. I'm going to use the smallest brush again, and I'm going to go into the gold. And on the scales, I'm just going to make little smiley faces. Sorry about the puppy dog. Barking at the neighbors. So you don't have to do all of the scales, just a few. And it's okay if you go over the black lines a little bit. See, just little smiley faces. Add a few right there. Maybe a couple more up here at the top. Oop, I forgot to add blue right there. I'm going to open up my blue. All right. Oh, and now I want to add some gold to the tail. So same thing. I'm not going to add a lot, just a little bit. And it's perfectly okay if it goes over the black. It's going to go over the blue a little bit. Just want to bring some of that gold into the tail also. What do you think? Okay. So now for the fun glitter. I'm going to shut the black. I'm going to shut the gold. I'm going to open up this glitter. Maybe. There we go. So this glitter is super thick. Okay. It's almost like glue. So I'm just going to kind of glob it like that. And I'm going to come up here. You want your scales to be mostly dry. So my scales are a little bit wet here, but my purple seems to be pretty dry. So I'm just going to kind of roll my brush around a little bit. just makes a few little globbies. Okay, can you see them? I did some right down here. Then I'm going to take some and I'm just going to kind of also put some in the bottom of the tail. Just kind of move the glitter around until you like it. Fun. Okay, one last thing to do. I'm going to add just a little bit of white. So on this side of my brush, I'm going to dip it into my white. And we're going to make a few of these scales look like they have highlights. Just to give them a little bit of shimmer. And if the glitter's enough and you don't want to add the white, that's perfectly fine. Just add just a few down the center. Okay, and then I'm just going to add a little bit of white, not a lot, just a little bit in the tail. I like one, maybe one right here, and a couple on this side. All right, I got to add one in the middle because that one was too close. Okay, now I'm going to do the same technique. I'm going to add some little dots to the tail. Just like 1, 2, and they get a little bit smaller as you get less paint on your brush. Maybe a dot there, a couple of dots right there. I just like dots. I think they're super fun. Again, this is totally optional. One, two, three. All right. What do you think? All done. Don't forget to sign it. Don't forget to put your name at the bottom, and don't forget to send me a picture. I'd love to see how it turns out. Thank you for painting with me. This was so much fun.